Hello and welcome to Warblog. Today we're looking at the War of Dagestan. Essentially, this is Dagestan, this is Chechnya, and they're both part of Russia, I think. And there's Georgia, which sort of isn't. But we've got the border anyway, just to delineate Chechnya from Dagestan. So essentially, things are sort of falling to bits a bit across the Russian Federation, etc., etc. And the Chechen-based Islamic International Brigade, or the Chechen-based Islamic International Brigade, an Islamist group led by warlords, invaded the neighbouring Russian Republic of Dagestan on the 7th of August 1999. Essentially, they took all these places here. And now the Russians were slow to respond. Now there's quite a lot of units, but they're all quite small and not particularly strong. The Russians the police sort of respond, and then some sort of Dagestan militia. I think the Russians provide some sort of air support from early on, but it's mainly sort of militia. I've got here a few of these Russian air assault companies coming on slightly in advance. I mean, why not? You don't have to use them in advance. I don't think we can take them off the map yet. But once you get to sort of turn 12, you start to get the proper Russian army, and they drew their forces from quite a few organisations, including the sort of Spetsnaz. Yeah, the Spetsnaz, sort of the air arm, the navy. I can't find the bit at the moment. Yeah, but anyway, but basically, once it gets to turn 12, so it's really, to sort of some extent, what you've got 12 turns to capture all these objectives and then try and hold on to them, and then the Russians will come in from all directions and, beat the hell out of the Islamic Damat of Dagestan. Now they took all these places, and really you can just occupy them. The ones that are off the path are worth 5. The ones that are on the path are worth 10. The paths I've done as best I can based on the map, but it's not particularly clear. That one should go through to Tindy, but it's not exactly clear what's a path and what's a river, and so I've used a bit of guesswork. But it's pretty much all mountainous, as you can see. The only thing the map doesn't demonstrate is the sort of the variations in greenery, but it's still pretty mountainous. So the ones on the path are worth 10, and so you might not. I mean, that's going to take 20 turns or 20 man points, so it might take a while to convert them. But the Russians might take a while to come on, and there might be quite a bit of resistance because you're in the mountains. But I think it's going to be overpowered. Basically, I think the bottom line is that the Islamic Damat of Dagestan, they thought that they would. Here it is, Chechnya-based Islamic International Brigade invaded, not incaded, Dagestan. They thought the locals would rise up and support them, but instead they formed militias and fought them. So they thought the locals would sort of help them. I'm just going to start it. I'm not going to play much. I just sort of want to demonstrate, not so much anything. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. Well, it should be a 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, should be about 5 to 1, maybe 6 to 1, should be, I don't know, 5 to 1. 22 versus 4, so he was 1 times 4 in the mountains, and he got a die roll of 12, so he retreated, which is pretty useful, really. Not that they're going to be up to much, but these units are all irregular, so they're all going to be doing a lot of retreating. So that's the thing that the Chechens have on their side. So that was sort of how it started. On the 4th of August 1999, several Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs (MVD) servicemen were killed in a border clash with a group of Mag-Almodelv's fighters led by Bagudin Kedovov. So that was that. That was the MDV, put your mouse over it, Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs Infantry Company. So they've obviously retreated, could have completely wiped them out, but that's that. They've got no movement left. They've got no movement left. So, but we've stepped over the border. Let's see what these people can do. Right, so movement is going to be really slow through the mountains, but it's going to be slow for both parties. So we can at least take that. And what's the movement along the roads? Okay, 2 along roads, so that's good. Let's see if I can speed that one up. Maybe put this air defence unit, who is similarly moving slowly. So they're all moved, and they're all moved. So that's that. So we should at least get one objective in the pipeline. So it's now the Russians' turn. Well, this unit, not really much he can do. I don't want to spend too much time thinking, but might as well commit into protecting this hex. It'll probably get eliminated next turn, but it will at least slow their movement down. I think slowing the movement down per turn is going to be critical, or at least central to basically restricting the number of objectives that they can actually get. So that's that turn. So essentially the turn should move quite quickly at the beginning because there's not a lot of units on the map. I'm sort of hoping and playing that we'll suddenly start to see some of the reinforcements appearing. So we can move him into there. Move him into there. Okay. Okay, so it's going to be the same odds again, only he's now depressed. What I am going to do is I'm not going to use him. I'm just going to use, well, I'm going to use just these 3. I'm hoping we get a DR, if not a DE. So 5-1. So I didn't commit him, and he retreated again. I mean, that is so lucky for him. But the whole idea is now I should be able to at least move him off of the mountains and into there without committing that next turn. They're all still on the road, which means they're still semi-movable. So that's that. He's moved up. Oh, he's got 1.5 movement. I want to get that objective. So this one should now go sort of grey or blue or something. Yep, so we now got 2 that have gone blue, or 3 that have gone blue, which makes it feel as though making some progress. But now we've got some more police. Now, I mean, it's just a simulation, but basically the Russian army aren't here yet, but there are some police. So the police are now going to try and reinforce this unit's sort of brave defence, and I think from where they're positioned, I think that's going to be the place to start maybe forming a defence. So he's now retreated twice. He's depression 4, so he's actually quite in a sort of fairly precarious position. And police move quite fast. Look at that. Maybe it's just because they're light, or maybe I'm just... Okay, I think. Well, it's police. Move quite light, and they're probably still 1 defence. I don't know. I think the police get a sort of a negative. I think they only run at sort of 0.5% of their value or something. I don't know. Maybe not. So now we've got a battle. We've got the police. It's always interesting, really, to sort of downgrade these things down to sort of police level and protester level, because you can do quite a lot with modelling riots and things like that, which is sort of interesting. But you know, it says it in the instructions, so the police resisted, and etc. etc. So that's what they're there for. Next turn. Okay. Okay, let's get a head start on that one. So, I don't think I want to chase that unit. Come on. I'll leave that in there. So that's that turn. So now that is now been converted. And as you can see, we're getting some more units on. These units have appeared here. So more and more units are now appearing. So the game is becoming more and more involved. But we're going to defend there because it seems like a fairly central point. There's incredibly fast moving police units just racing through these mountain paths. I don't know why. So that's that. The Islamic Damat of Dagestan's turn. Turn 3. Well, slow move down there. Anyway, do that. So very slow movement. No other reinforcements. Okay, the best way I think that air defence unit might be giving it a real whack because it's got 4, which would be a bit of a cheat. Okay, it's only a few minutes left, it goes so quickly. As you can see, more units. Now these are interesting because they are police as well, but they're the Islamic Damat of Dagestan Islamic Religious Police. And they start to appear quite a lot. There's quite a few of them. I mean, not a lot. They're the smallest sort of integral bulk. And some of these others, for example, these ones here are the Islamic International Brigade. And these ones are the Special Purpose Islamic Regiment. So there's quite a few sort of different flavours of Islamicists here. Where to go? He should be able to at least move into there now. Oh no, it's the Russians' turn, isn't it? Okay, so we've got some militia. Now, we had the police. Now, basically the militia are people. They are the locals sort of forming up. They appear all over the place randomly. One of them appears down here in Tlayarosh, which I thought was going to be good for a laugh. So would it be quicker to go across or around? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Amazing. It didn't strike me worth counting, but counting obviously means it's quicker this way. And we've only got 30 seconds left, so that's pretty much it. I don't think you can move any further. So I don't think I'm going to play another game because I'm super busy, but I'd like to. But I think it's an interesting game, and you know, if you are intrigued, you can play it by signing up. And having a blast. So I'll speak to you later. Cheers, bye. Okay, well, uploaded so quickly, then I'm going to give it another blast. So I've decided to commit this unit to going across this way. But what I'm sort of thinking is, I've got this air unit, and I don't know whether to commit him now, but he's pretty tough. Now the thing is, if I put him there, it doesn't really do much. It blocks that road, but it's still got units coming down this way. If I put him there, it sort of blocks and defends a lot of these, but he can still come across this way, but it'll be really slow. But I think that that's what I'm going to do. So the air result, there was no, well, I don't know what that means actually. I've got in now, I wasn't hit. So there I am, some Russian air assault units. Okay. I get a suspicion that it's going to be heavily weighted in the Russians' favour. And what can these people do? Even moving along the road is one. It would be definitely quicker this way. You can go one. Wow. Now I don't want to split myself up really to defend these villages. I think that's a sizable force. Put them there, create a front line across there. Quite a lot of units now. So we're finally into Kavanda. What is it? Kavanada. Now the road is blocked. Okay. Okay. So we've got some police up here. I wonder if they'll move as quickly. Police are going to get sort of like supercharged. Okay. Okay, so we've captured that. Rakata. So the police will now come in there to maintain order. We'll stay there. Stay there. Okay. Okay, so there's now quite a lot of these units are suddenly appearing. And we've got some militias appearing now to keep up. But we've also got the Russian Russian Air Force coming in, so it could be interesting. Well, there isn't really much that I want to be attacking. They're now entrenched. They're entrenched. Who am I likely? I think the people to attack are the people that I'm more likely to engage with earlier on. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to use my Air Force. A, because I don't want to. I want to speed the game up a bit so I can get more into it. And B, because it's still cumulative. I don't lose these units, and then when I get the other set of units, I'll have 4 units, or it's saving it as opposed to wasting it. Because if I hit this unit, it's quite likely to recover. I need to be doing it when I'm engaging, and the only place I can engage is here, and I don't really want to be. Although I'm quite strong, he's worth 2. It'll be tripled in mounted at 6, fortified, well, entrenched, dug in, so that'll be 9. When he gets entrenched, it'll be 12. 1 to 3. So there's no point. I mean, if I could keep bombing. But I think I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bomb, I think, where I feel I might be attacked. For example, these units could be quite small. So if anything starts to get into these zones of control, these hexes, I'm going to start bombing them. Yep. These paths are useless for the military. They might as well just go straight across the mountains. Okay. So that's that. Okay. Well, they are going for it. Anti-tank, equally slow. Okay, over halfway already. I quite like the slow movement, not for the reason you might imagine. Basically, it just means there's so much more scope and play in the game. When units have a lot of movement, the map seems smaller. It's still quite a large map. It's a bit frustrating that it's taking so much time, but I think I can sort of handle that. I definitely feel as though I've got a sort of a strategy and a front line. They're going to be hard pressed to get these. We've got some more air mobile units. I mean, these ones could be all I need. Yep, they got through. If you don't know how this works, you get ground fire from all these units that are nearby, plus there's some air defence. So I could have got hit by the air defence, and when there's a lot of units it can be quite devastating. I mean, you go in there with, you know, at least 2 or 3 depressions, you know, already depressed by the time you get in there. But yeah, there's definitely a nice clean line there now. It's interesting, really, because the roads are definitely useful. Which is what roads are. But you know, I think in military games, you know, a lot of battles are fought about the logistic routes. You know, it's not just about creating a front line like the road. You know, they're fighting for the road and along the road. You know, so we've got this on the road, this on the road, this on the road. You know, and there's this huge gap here with no roads. We don't have anything, but there's no point because we can quite easily defend along this road. So it's interesting how that shapes the thinking and strategy. Whose turn is it? Okay. Right, so the question is, do I want to start attacking things? That's everything moved up, so I'm not going to attack anything, but I'm going to contemplate an attack against this power unit there. Give me some green ones. Okay, that's what I like to see, some sort of progress. So they've actually managed to take some things. I think I might hold back on these power units to push them back a lot further into the game. You know, to make it a little more balanced in the earlier game, in the earlier part, to give the Dagestan, the Islamic Dagestan of Dagestan, a little more chance to get that. I mean, we know that they're going to be pushed back at the end, but it'll be interesting to see whether or not they can actually get it without having these essentially whopping great big units stuck in the way. You know, that's impassable mostly. So I will move these back a bit when I refine the game after this. But look at that, I mean, there's just this mass of units coming onto the board. It's turn 7, and it just builds up all the way through to about turn 12, 14. And then it's sort of the Russians that start building up. And there's that unit I talked about. To be quite honest, now that I know how useless the roads are for militia, it's not really that bad a place to start off with. I'm not sure whether I moved him last time. Okay, well, I'm going to use my air power on this unit, although I don't know why. No damage. 1. So he's now 1. You see, that's why I held back with the air power before, and I think I will again. It's because he'll just recover now. He'll just sit there and recover that. When we come up to another 15-minute thing, I can't believe how fast time flies when you're having so much fun, but I hope that makes it a little more stimulating for you. You sort of think, gosh, that looks so exciting, I want to play it. Because it is. Look how exciting it is, all these green things and red things and blue things and black things all moving around. It's really interesting. Okay, so hopefully I'll speak to you later. I'm not going to do another one because I've got things to do, but see you later. Cheers, mate.